What's up, everybody? In a previous video, I gave you 5 things that beginning guitarists should not focus on. In this video, I'm going to give beginning guitarists 5 things they should focus on. Number 1, getting comfortable reading tablature. Get comfy reading tabs as soon as possible. You can learn how to read tabs in like 5 minutes. It's really not hard. To learn how to read music takes months and months and months of dedicated practice and learning, and years to really master, to be able to sight read. Um, Learning tabs takes a few minutes to learn the basic system, and once you do that, you can learn how to play anything. And it's real simple. I'm sure there's 100 videos on how to read tabs. I'll make one myself at some point, but yeah, get comfortable reading tabs because you're going to be reading a lot of them. That's the way guitarists and bass players communicate. Instead of using written out music like other instruments, like say the piano, for the guitar tablature, it makes things so much easier. So get comfortable reading tablature and chord charts, and get comfortable reading chord charts. Those 2 things, if you can read chord charts and you can read tablature, then you're going to be able to learn any song you want to learn. You're going to be able to learn anything you want to learn on the guitar. So get comfortable with tabs, get comfortable with chord charts. Number 2, consistency. This one is so important. I shouldn't even have to say it really, because it should be obvious. You need to be consistent with your playing and your practicing. That means picking up your instrument for a little while every single day or most days. I'm going to say at least 5 days a week. If you want to make progress on any instrument, you need to practice at least 5 days a week. And you don't have to dedicate all damn day to it. But as obviously, generally the more the better. I mean, there comes a point when there's too much. You don't want to be practicing. When I first started playing guitar, I would literally play until my fingers bled. Which I'm not. I don't recommend doing that necessarily, but consistency. You want to pick a time of day that you can. You don't want to just practice whenever you feel like it or whenever you find time. You need to pick a set time every day, and that is your practice time every day. You're not doing any. Your phone is off. Your TV is off. You're not doing anything else. Your practice time. If your practice time is from 12:30 to 1, then from 12:30 to 1 every day, that's what you're doing. You're practicing. You need to be consistent. Now that doesn't consistency. That sounds like a pain in the ass. It sounds like oh blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't have to suck. It can be fun. You can make practicing fun and everything else. But you have to do it, and you have to do it a lot. So consistency is key. Consistency is something you got to get comfortable picking up that guitar and strumming and picking, plucking, and or slapping and whatever, if you're bass or whatever. Get used to doing it every day. Keep your instrument handy. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Don't keep your guitar in a case in the closet, locked up where you can't have it. Keep it where it's within arm's reach. That way, if you're sitting around not doing anything, pick it up and play for a few minutes. Pick it up here. It's not like you can only play during your practice time. You can screw around whenever. I suggest just picking up your guitar whenever you're sitting around not doing anything. If you find yourself just scrolling on social media, something wasting time, maybe be like, you know what? I think I'm going to put this down and pick up my guitar for a few minutes. So all that extra practice time adds up and everything. But the consistency is the thing. You need to be consistent. You need to pick a time and practice every day. Not even necessarily practice, but you need to play. You need to play your instrument every day consistently. Every day is ideal, but you don't have to I like I said, 5 days a week, 45 minutes to an hour, will get you, will keep you progressing very, very nicely. Um, and now, the more you practice, the faster you can progress. The less you practice, the slower you'll progress. But if you don't consistently practice, you're not going to progress at all. So you need to be consistent. You need to keep picking up your instrument, and you need to keep playing. Consistency is so important. Which is, again, I'll say it 1,000 times. Pick a time that you can stick to, a time of day that you can stick to. It doesn't matter if it's 5 in the morning, 5 at night. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, just pick a time where you can set aside for practicing your instrument, and over time you'll make progress, and you'll get good. But if you don't dedicate time to it every day, then it's just you're never going to get where you want to go. So get comfortable practicing, get comfortable being consistent, playing consistently, because just picking it up here and there, you'll learn, you'll get better if you just kind of pick it up here and there. But if you're not taking it that seriously and you just practice whenever you play whenever you're not going to move along that fast. So if you want to take the guitar seriously or any instrument seriously and get better and move at a good pace, consistency is key. Can't state that enough. Number three, tuning. Get comfortable tuning your instrument. Now, when you're first starting out and you don't know anything about music or music theory or anything like that, tuning it's weird. It seems it's like a real hassle. But eventually you'll get to a point where you can do it by ear and do it like that. But the thing that I'm going to tell you is probably a little different than what other guitar teachers would probably suggest. I think you should get comfortable tuning your instrument, not to a tuner, but get comfortable tuning it to itself and to other instruments. And what I mean is, you can tune if you don't need a guitar tuner, even if you don't have perfect pitch, even if you don't know what a middle C is, if you don't need a guitar tuner. If you have a guitar, you can tune it to itself. Tune you can tune a six-string guitar. You can tune five strings to match with the first string. And I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video, but you push down on the fifth fret on the first string, and you can tune the open second string that way. And then the same thing: fifth fret open, fifth open, fourth open, fifth open. I'm not going to get into all the details of that, but it's something you should get comfortable doing, is learning how to keep your instrument in tune with itself. And of course, being in tune, like being properly tuned, like using a tuner to get your E exactly at an E, A, D, G, B, E, exactly where they are. That's I'm not saying don't do that or whatever, but I'm saying what's really you should really focus on, getting good at tuning your instrument to itself. That way, if you're a G string or B string go out of tune, which are quite common, you don't need to grab your tuner to reach or to get back in tune. You can just tune it to itself, and I'll make a whole video on how to do that. But learning to do this is also important, because if once you start jamming with other musicians, you need to be in tune with them. Now, it doesn't matter if you and everyone you're jamming with is not perfectly in tune. As long as you're in tune with each other, it's going to sound fine. Now, your guitar might be tuned 50 cents low, but as long as the bass player and the other guitarist are tuned 50 cents low, you're all going to be in tune with each other, and it's going to sound fine. Which is why it's important to learn how to get comfortable tuning your instrument to itself or tuning your instrument to somebody else's instrument. And I'm not saying don't get used to tuning to a tuner, because you are going to need to tune to a tuner, and it's going to take a lot of practice. Most people don't have perfect pitch. Perfect pitch means you can hear a note and know it exactly what it is, or you could just sing a high C and perfectly hit it, exactly as is. Very, very few people have perfect pitch. I don't have it myself. I have near, I guess you could say near perfect, pretty good pitch, but it's not perfect, unlike some people. But just from over 30 years of playing in guitars and tuning guitars, and you just over time you get an idea, a basic idea of what a low E should sound like, and you get it in the ballpark by ear. But anyway, learn how to tune a guitar to itself, and learn how to tune once you start playing with other musicians. Make sure you know how to tune up to each other real quick, because that's far more important than being like 100% like perfectly tuned. Number four, get comfortable with power chords. If you want to play rock music, you got to learn how to play power chords. Now, power chords are incredibly powerful, and they're incredibly simple. These chords are the basis of so much music that it's not even funny. And the positioning power chords. So a power chord, different people are going to say different things. It's some are going to say it's two notes. Some are going to say it's three notes. When I think of power chords, I think of three notes. but one of those notes is an octave, so it's really only two notes. Actually, I'll show you. If you don't know what a power chord is, they're very simple chords where you just got like Nirvana. Take Smells Like Teen Spirit, all power chords. I don't have a pick, but Iron Man. All power chords. Like, so many songs are just power chords. But the beauty of power chords is once you learn a power chord, you know all the power chords because the fingering you just slide it up and say. You can just do it like that. So get comfortable with power chords. Now I tend to play them with my pinky, which is probably bad form, but I use my pointer finger and then pinky to hold down the next two. But you can also use your ring finger, which a lot of people do. But once you get that down, you can do anything with it. I mean, there's just like so many songs, like all Sabbath songs, all Nirvana songs, all so much rock music uses power chords. So the sooner you get comfortable with power chords, the sooner you'll be able to unlock like tons of rock music. I mean, you'll just be able to play everything. So learn those power chords. Symptom of the Universe. Alright, I need a pick. I can't play that without a pick. But yeah, you get the point. Power chords. Get comfortable playing power chords, and you'll unlock tons and tons and tons of music. Once you'll be able to play power chords, you'll be able to play all sorts of shit. I'm also gonna throw in there that I couldn't decide if I wanted to include this, so I'll just mention it briefly. I can't remember if I said 5 or 6 tips I was going to give you at the beginning. I think I said 5. So this one I'll lump in. I wasn't going to mention it, but power chords, definitely get comfortable playing power chords, especially if you want to play rock music. But I would also suggest getting comfortable with just a handful of. Get comfortable with a handful of common basic chords that utilize open strings, stuff like E major, C, D, E minor, A minor, D minor. Those chords, if you learn just those few chords, that unlocks tons and tons of music. So many songs are just like A minor and F, or A minor and G and C, or C, G. Sublime, What I Got, is just 2 chords, C and G. The entire song, C and G chords. So if you learn those 2 chords, if you know those 2 chords, you already know how to play that song. You just go learn the strumming pattern or whatever. So I in addition to learning power chords, I would also get comfortable with just those basic, really common chords: E minor, A minor, C, G, D, maybe D minor. F is important too, but that one's a little trickier to play. But focus on the and that doesn't know you to open strings anyway. But focus on those chords that all use open strings, and that'll help you a lot. And the last thing that you should get comfortable doing, if you're a beginning guitarist or bassist or whatever, and this one is more important than anything, you should get comfortable having fun. Having a good time. You should get comfortable enjoying the living shit out of playing your instrument. Because isn't that the point? Isn't it all about fun? Isn't it all about personal enrichment and learning expression, emotion, and enjoying yourself and everything else? Have fun. Have fun with it. Don't make it a chore. If you make practicing a chore, if you make it suck, you're going to fail. You're going to want to give up. You are going to give up. Make it fun. Make playing the guitar or the bass or whatever fun. There are you practicing. There are aspects of it that kind of suck. Then there's no way around it. But it doesn't all have to suck. Like so many teachers just have you teach you just the most boring basic stuff, scales and modes and all this stuff, and it's like. It totally depends on what your goals are. Like if you want to go to Berklee College of Music or something like that, or you want to be like a jazz guitarist professionally or something like that, okay, things are going to be different. I'm talking about if you want to learn to be a rock guitarist, maybe play in a band or something like that. Be able to play some metal, some rock, some classic rock, stuff like that. That's kind of what I'm talking about. I would have slightly different advice for someone who's looking to be to go into like jazz or something like that. But I don't know how the hell how to have fun and work on your jazz chops, because that's just not something I've ever done. But I can tell you, learning to play rock music can be super fun if you let it be. And what does that mean? How do you have fun? Well, instead of just practicing chords and scales over and over again, learn to practice by learning to play songs that you want to learn. And that's the way I did it. A lot of it is I would pick a song that was just outside of my skill, just above my skill level, just outside of my comfort zone, and gradually work on that song. And by working on that song, I would build up this. I would my playing would get to that level that I could play that song, and then I would try to learn something like above that. And by doing that, you keep it fun, you keep it interesting by playing stuff that you want to play. But I mean, you can only play a Locrian mode and Phrygian mode so many friggin' times before, you just, yeah, it's just too much. And like that stuff that you can learn all that stuff. It's all fine, all the theory and stuff like that. I know a ton about music theory. I love learning. I still learn about music theory. There's literally no limit to it. I mean, you can go. I'm into now getting deep into the weeds of all like the math and science of the psychoacoustics of audio engineering and all. I'm getting real deep into the mathematical side of the theory stuff now. But you don't need to worry if you just start out. Fuck all that noise. Forget about the theory. Forget about all the stuff, and you really focus on having fun. Make it fun, and you'll progress so much faster. And it'll just make everything so much better. So don't be afraid to crank that bitch to 11 and just have fun. Just have at it. Go nuts. I mean, when I was a teenager, I played guitar in my basement. Nobody's parents at work or whatever. I'd crank that thing up all the way, and I would be jumping around playing those power chords, and like a freaking maniac. And I loved every second of it. It was fun as hell. I had a lot of fun. If you're not having fun, if you're learning to play an instrument and you're not having fun doing it, you're fucking up somewhere. You're doing something wrong, because it should be fun. I mean, yeah, it really should. You've either got a bad. Well, I don't. Practicing should be fun. Make it fun. Unless you like things that are unfun and things that suck, then by all means, go down that road. But for us normal people that like to have fun and like things to not suck, learn to make practicing fun by playing stuff that you want to learn, and by making it easy to practice. Like I said, have your instrument close, and celebrate the little victories. The little every celebrate every little every progress, every riff you learn, everything. Pat yourself on the back, give yourself a thumbs up. And be proud of it, because you should be. You worked for it. It's not easy to it's the reason why there would be a lot more awesome guitarists roaming around if it was easy, but it's not. It takes time and consistency and patience and practice and all that other stuff, which is why really good musicians are hard to find. And anyway, so this has gone way longer than I wanted it to, but those are five things that you should focus on. Um, have fun, for more importantly than anything is focus on having fun. Enjoy playing your instrument. Um, be consistent. You gotta pick that thing up, 4 or 5 6 times a week at least. If you can practice every day, all the better. But you have to be consistent. It takes time, and you need to know that. Learn power chords. The sooner you learn power chords, the sooner you unlock all of basically all of grunge, all of so much classic rock, so much metal, so much rock, so much thrash, so much punk. Like you just unlocked so much stuff. So learn what a power chord is, learn how to play it, and then you'll just open up everything. And while you're doing the power chords, learn the most common open chords: E, A, D, G, C, E minor, A minor, D minor, um, and get practice transitioning between those chords and stuff like that. So many songs are just use those chords. What I had, what was the one more thing I said? Oh, tuning. Yeah, and tuning. Learning, of course, learn to tune into the tuner, but also early on you should get used to tuning your guitar to itself, or if you're jamming with other people already, get used to tuning to their instrument. And um, those 5 tips will help you grow as a guitarist, as a bassist, or as a musician in general, um, and get you to where you want to be sooner. But that's all I got today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you got, tell me in the comments if you think I missed something, you think I am wrong about something. I want to hear it. Tell me what you think. Do you think this is good advice? Do you think it's terrible advice? Tell me in the comments. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, like this video, share with people who might also like it, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Till next time, I'm Ellis Michaels. Be well.